Let's say you want to learn something new. Doesn't matter how hard it is, how difficult it is, a subject matter that you have no idea on. Doesn't matter, okay? There's 4 things that you want to start with in your pursuit of learning a new skill or learning new information. The first is mirroring. You need to find somebody that you can mirror. This is somebody that has a similar behavior pattern to you, someone who has a similar personality, someone who you just admire. They may be nothing like you, but they're just somebody you're like, I aspire to be like this person. But you want somebody that you can mirror, and then you want to start watching them perform the task or deliver the information so you can start understanding more how you need to emulate this process. It's very important for understanding how you're going to identify with people who are already experts or people who are already doing the process. Mirroring is huge. It's part of what culture is. Then you're going to want to identify patterns. No matter what the information is, no matter how complex it is, there are always patterns you can recognize because patterns can be scaled down to very, very simple things. Shapes, numbers, colors, time, distance, things like that. So any pattern that you can recognize creates a level of familiarity in the subject that is new to you. So the more important thing is in not learning the information, but identifying patterns you already know. Now, why do you care about this so much? And why is it more important learning the identifying the patterns you know first rather than learning new information? The reason is because once you identify patterns you know or recognize, then you can get into step 3, which is making decisions. Making decisions or having choices essentially allows you to take a level of ownership in the subject that actually makes you feel like you're contributing to the subject. And so when you identify patterns you already recognize, you can now make decisions based off of those patterns you recognize. Do I want to understand these patterns further and how they apply to the subject, or do I want to identify new patterns? What do I want to do with these patterns? How do these patterns work in the information? Where do they go? Where do they take me? And so now you're making decisions. It makes you feel like you have more control over your learning process. And lastly is surprise. You want to find some area in the subject matter that you can be surprised in. You need to find surprise. If you do not get surprised, then it's likely over time you will go through the process and then you'll get bored. It'll feel just kind of monotonous and you'll be like, why am I here? Surprise is a huge part of the process of learning anything. And these are the tips that I've learned over 25 years of teaching kids how to do ridiculously hard skills in the sport of competitive gymnastics.